Dear Professor Harrison, we are delighted to have you on this interview today, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Professor Hernandez. Or actually, we're talking about democratizing energy, so let's be democratic. I'm Sigvald.
Thank you. I like your idea. And my name is Omar. Let's go with that.
Nice to speak with you, Omar.
Indeed. May I start by asking you on your previous experience and background as a professional interested in the field of energy?
Yeah, I have an engineering background. I work for a packaging company called Tetra Pak across 5 countries in Europe. And then I increasingly started to develop an interest in solving major challenges. The biggest challenge I ever got was given by my daughter, Julia, because without me knowing, she actually signed me up for Survivor. And this is a competition on an island. I ended up on an island in Indonesia, and I had to learn the hard way how people live without energy there. I, of course, saw ocean waste and coral bleaching too, but I wanted to attack those 3 challenges in that order of priority. So I really wanted to do something about renewable energy because it's the future.
Got it. And then how did you start going even deeper into renewable energy? Because you've been into that field for a while by now.
Yes, I have spent 10 full years devoted to now renewable energy in different forms, mainly solar and wind. And I believe in the combination of both. I started a company called Innoventum in Sweden that is using renewable structures, so glue laminated wood, and supporting structures for solar and wind hybrid solutions that we have been deploying across 3 continents in 11 countries now.
Got it. And we see that technologies as wave and solar have been developing quite fast. But unfortunately, I don't feel that has been the case for technology adoption. So if that's true, what do you think is happening now in this world where we see significant difference in adoption rate between developing countries and non-developing countries? Is there anything we're missing besides just coming up with a good technology?
Yes, I mean, you need to have business models and incentives that promote adoption of renewable energy. The first country that realized that was Germany. They introduced very strong feed-in tariffs, which means that you actually, by investing in solar or wind and you connect yourself to the grid, you contribute with renewable energy to the grid, and you would get as much as 40 euro cents per kilowatt hour, meaning that you would get your return on investment in, let's say, 2.5 years in Germany at the time. And that has been followed by some other countries, but even still today, Germany has more capacity installed in total than any other country, which is quite remarkable because Germany is as small as my home country, Sweden.
Yes, definitely. That's a surprising result, especially because when we think about countries like Germany, well, technology may come to our minds and many other positive things, but that's not particularly one of the countries I will place at the top of the list in terms of solar radiation and number of days that they get sun energy there. Yet they're the number 1. Now, if there's been that kind of adoption, would it be fair to assume that solar is way more affordable now?
Oh yes, the price has gone down drastically, making it today the by far lowest cost energy resource, in fact. So if you, I mean, it's a lot more affordable than both coal and fossil fuel, or oil, but also much more affordable than nuclear. So there are no reasons for those type of energy plants any longer, which may be the reason why China has just cancelled the plan to build 151 coal plants.
Wow, that's a major thing. And now that we're talking about different countries and development itself, it looks like mobility is also an important aspect when we are thinking about nations where in the venue of developing or making progress. What is your impression about electric vehicles mobility, EV mobility?
Yes, it's another excellent example of incentives. Tesla would not exist today without the incentive structure in Norway, as strange as it may sound. So Norway implemented the world's most forceful incentives for electric vehicles. I could make a long list, but you can Google that. But essentially, you had so many privileges and advantages that it would be naive not to buy an electric vehicle. Therefore, every second vehicle sold today in Norway, and it has been like that for more than a year now, is electric. Now, why do I say that? Well, it's because Tesla wasn't expecting that. And it was very fortunate to have Norway as almost a captive market, without which the company would have gone bankrupt. Why e-mobility is important in the context of renewable energy is that we did mention that, and it is true that solar is going down in cost and getting more efficient every day. And we also have higher efficiencies in wind. But solar is more price competitive. The only dark side of solar is when it's dark. So no sun, no energy. So you need batteries for the backup. And still today, the batteries are too expensive. Here's where the e-mobility comes in, because the explosion of growth in electric vehicles is calling for cost reduction in batteries. So that cost reduction will benefit renewable energy storage too. On the one hand, there is another synergy, which is that e-vehicles tend to be more connected. By default, they have a plug, but they are also more connected in general. And within HALT, we have been running projects now, both with Tesla, Nissan, and NEVS, the Swedish electric vehicle company previously called Saab, on the topic of disrupting opportunities of the connected e-vehicle. And the future of e-mobility is going to be one where the batteries of the vehicles are going to be constantly, more or less, connected to the grid to secure the peak balancing that we need for solar to be truly effective.
You mean with no wires?
That is true, yes. So the future is definitely contactless. Just like Nikola Tesla invented it 100 years ago, this is the future. So you have contactless inductive power transmission. It's doable today, but companies haven't been really bold enough to go commercial. Qualcomm is currently the industry leader, but there are companies like ABB that could, if they were bold enough, they would easily do it. And like anything in life, like nothing is impossible. If you believe you can do it, then it is possible. If others believe you can do it, then it will happen. So we just need to have the courage to move into contactless power transmission, and then it's going to be seamless connection.
That's very interesting, and I love the combination of concepts like coming up with the right type of policies, encouraging alternatives like solar, and bringing that down into electric vehicles with the help of not only better storage facilities, but wireless technologies that will help mobility become what it should be, a free choice for everyone. Sigvald, thank you so much for sharing your insight. I feel that you made us understand in a few minutes a very powerful perspective on the future of energy. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Anytime, Omar.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
And you, take care.